What's up, manifestation queens?
Woohoo! In the house.
I was just going to say, in the manifestation house, we've got 3 queens, and I'm placing myself in that.
Yes.
We have got the Ella and Joe gals.
Yes.
That's not their names, of course. Niamh and Charlene, what's up all the way in Dublin?
Oh, absolutely delighted to be here. We've battled through torrential snow and all sorts of madness to get here today, but really excited to be here. Thanks for having
thank
us.
you so much.
Thank you. I now identify as well as Charlene Jingle Bell Jones. Niamh booked my train ticket last night because we decided last night to get the train, and on my ticket and on my name above my seat today she was like, look, it's your name, and I was like, oh my god, it's Charlene Jingle Bell Jones. She's now put me in her phone as a contact, so yeah, you can put this as a podcast with me, Ryan, and Charlene Jingle Bell Jones. So please don't do that.
No, and I changed it on my phone. I didn't realise I would also change it on the booking for my
everything for meetings. So now when she's having a meeting, she's booked in with Charlene Jingle Bell Jones.
Oh, I love
My
it.
friend did that to us when we were in college, and she put my name as something like hot stuff, and I was like, what the
Oh, stop. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But like, you could do that to anybody.
Yeah.
That's actually good fun, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Really
no,
funny.
it is.
Yeah, we were
We
full
had
on
great
having
crack.
snowball fights this morning and everything. Everyone just looking at us ready for their business journey to Dublin, and there's myself and Niamh having snowball fights at Manola Junction.
It was good fun though. There was some of the guys who were going up to court, and he turned around and he was like, she nearly got you there with the
nearly
snowball.
got
I was
you.
like, yeah, okay.
I know. It's hilarious.
That is brilliant. So it sounds like you don't take yourselves too seriously.
Yeah,
Try not to.
Yeah.
I think it's harder now, like since we've the business nearly 7 years. So like as you're in that scaling period, and you know, lots of staff and lots of responsibility and all those other bits and pieces, it's definitely harder than it was at the start. But I think we're finding that joy and that passion and that fun like anywhere
We're
we can.
renewing our vows.
We are. We have some news.
You're so
Do you
right,
miss
though.
the start? Do you
Yeah.
miss what it was
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
all day long. The start is so... Now, look, don't get me wrong. It's amazing. We've had such incredible success the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Particularly in the last year. But the start, especially, well, really for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, like creatively, you know, having a fresh page, doing everything like with a really small budget, so you have to be really creative and innovative. Like that for me, there's something really magic in that, like when it starts to land. And then I think as it becomes more complex and as you're scaling, like, which has to happen, you know, for a business to survive, thrive and grow, and to scale internationally like we are, you have to obviously put structure, which is not my favorite thing,
It's my favourite.
in there, and that just can stifle the creativity a little bit. And like, that's okay, that's cool, that's where we're, you know, we're at different stages, but it's definitely a flow. Yeah.
So do you tell people who are just starting out, being like, enjoy it?
Yeah, but it's really hard to
It
enjoy
is
at
hard
the
to
start.
enjoy it in the beginning, you know,
Yeah.
because you are fighting, you know, against low budget, you know, like, you know, low resource, all of that sort of stuff. So whilst we were definitely wearing like 40 hats each kind of at the time, but we both individually brought a really strong skill set, which I think we kind of went into very naively, not really understanding, but totally appreciating how much we actually were able to bring to the table at the
Yeah.
early days as well. And I think we sort of took that for granted. You know, we both have marketing backgrounds, me particularly in digital marketing. So like I built the website when we first started. You know, I built out all the social media platforms, all the strategy and everything. And like Niamh comes from a marketing background, like ex-Unilever, you know, so like we both brought a lot of strengths, I suppose, from a marketing point of view.
Absolutely, and even had to do like Ross on our own, and
Yeah.
obviously all those other bits from an accounting perspective.
I know.
And
Guys, the VAT return
Yeah.
is due. Like the other
Allergic.
night, I said to my husband, I was like, would you please take down all the Christmas
I saw your
decorations?
post. That was so
and he
funny.
was like, have you done your VAT return? And like, eye roll. I am desperate when it comes to the money side of
but
things.
I'd honestly say and it's a
people
big
are.
generalization, but 99% of creative business people are. Like, you know, it's the thing that's left until the last minute. It's like the last deadline. It's the procrastination piece, and it's going, I promise. And everyone goes out and they buys their accordion folder and they put all their little receipts in for the first 2 months, and then it's back to usual afterwards, because that's not where your skill set lies. And it is hard at the start when you have to wear the 40 hats and do all the bits and pieces. But you know, sometimes as well, like, you have to be gentle on yourself. And we're very grateful to be at that place now where we'll turn around and I'll say, that's not my skill set. That's not where I'm the strongest. I'll absolutely do that. No problem. But if you want to get the best out of me, I know, you know, where to put me. Like, and that's in the creative zone. It's in the marketing zone. It's, you know, in those different areas. And I'll absolutely sit down if I have to do the payroll and do the P4, do whatever it might be, no problem. I'll jump on there and if I have to do it, but I'm not going to like it.
Yeah. I'm actually the same. I'm so creative, but when it comes to that side of things, and I agree, you just need to do what you're good at.
Yeah.
But where did the name come from? How did you make the decision to start? Like, where did the two of you meet, combine, and explode?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose. Well, really, we're both very intuitive people, and we both be very, I think, led by our gut feeling. Yeah. So we always really respect each other. I don't know if you want to explain about where we kind of started. Well, go on.
I know it's always an awkward dynamic, isn't it? Like,
go on.
Whenever there's two people, you know, because I'm like, you know, but anyway, we'll bounce off one another for this. The start of it, I have been a makeup artist for nearly 10 years and not in that profession now, obviously, since moving into my role in Ella and Joe, but like, I would have had like a national presence on social media, television, you know, education, all of that. And I would have done masterclasses like around the country where I could have had like 100 to 250 people in a room educating them about all things makeup. And I always believed that there was a skin first, makeup second ethos before skin kind of became trendy and cool. And I asked Niamh to join me as a skin expert because like that I really respected her in her field, and she would have came around with me and delivered skin conversations, Q&As, you know, for the women that were at my masterclasses. So then a couple of years later, we sort of moved on. Niamh is also a reflexologist, and I was just newly married, kind of probably burnt out, building a house, getting married, you know, all of that sort of stuff.
But doing this while you're in your marketing job as well?
Marketing and makeup, and trying to
we like the
build that off
multifunction.
Yeah.
The multiple revenue streams, trying to make it work.
Lots of different hats.
I loved it at the time. Like, I was working 7 days a week, but I was in my early 20s and I thrived off it. Like, I absolutely loved it. The more hours I could work, the better. Like, I just absolutely loved it. And I suppose like makeup was my passion, education was my passion, you know, in both fields, you know, in digital marketing and in makeup. So Niamh, then moving forward, then I suppose she became my reflexologist. And that's when I suppose the real deep and meaningful conversations started to happen, and the connection started to build. And Niamh just approached me one day and said, you know, look, I have an idea for a product. I don't want to do this on my own because I've been in business on my own for too many years now, and I'd like to offer you the position to come into a partnership with me. And I didn't even think twice about it. I had just had a conversation with my husband the week previous where we were talking about starting a family, and I was going, you know, okay, the makeup world doesn't lend me to family life because it's long weekends, it's a lot of travel, early mornings, etc., etc. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I either want to set up an academy for makeup or I want to bring out my own product line. And then literally like the week later, Niamh approached
and then
me and
the
said,
universe speaks.
No, genuinely.
And you have to seize that opportunity.
I didn't even know what the idea was, what the product was, but I just was like, that's okay, let's do it.
It was just the maddest thing. So our first product was Squeaky Clean Brush Cleanser, and literally we had been like that. I have a skin clinic the last 13 years, so I'm a skin therapist for over 15 years, but I did my transition year work experience in a salon. I always had really bad skin and I was obsessed with understanding the skin, and I was working in that space, and you're talking to people and they're putting €15 maybe worth of product on their face every morning, and then you talk to them about their makeup brushes and how often they were cleaning them, and it was the elephant in the room. And I was going, okay, there has to be something out there that I can retail with the skincare to get the better result for my clients, because that's what I wanted. For me, it was the before and afters internally for them, for their skin confidence. And there was nothing out there. And I was like, oh God, like there has to be something. And I went to the local enterprise office and I was like, guys, look, I'm trying to find a manufacturer for something. I've got an idea, you know, who can I reach out to? And they gave me some names. And then I was like, as Charlene was saying, I really didn't want to do it on my own, but obviously highly respected her, you know, within the industry in terms of your presence, your knowledge, and like loved her personality as well. And like we didn't have any big deep and meaningful, where it was like, you know, hi, do you want to be my partner? Will you be my friend?
Yeah.
And we didn't do any of that. And like, you know, we started with one product and we were like, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And got the samples in and we were sitting down having a conversation, and Charlene came in, and what happened? You told me you were pregnant.
It was 6 weeks after we had made the decision, that we had set up, you know, the business, you know, the business name, and we had started the conversations. And then 6 weeks later, I was trying to get pregnant for a year, and it just wasn't happening, you know. And I was like, oh, you know, okay, whatever. So then it was like this new business was going to be the baby, you know. And I was like, this is what I'm going to focus on. And then literally like 6 weeks later, I was like, Niamh, I'm pregnant. You're not going to want to go into business with me. I'm, you know, blah blah blah. Niamh had 2 children at this stage already, and she just looked at me. She was like, what's wrong with you? She's like, everything's going to be okay. She was like, of course, we'll be fine, you know.
And then it maybe 12 weeks later, I was like, I also have news.
Yeah, she was pregnant as well. So
I launched. If you're not manifesting in 2025, then what are you doing? And for the love of the universe, will you take down your vision board? We know from neuroscience that you gotta write it to invite it. And that is why I created the Pause Penny Manifestation Box. 7 simple steps. Writing it down, visualization, and taking action, because we know action is key. And why should you listen to me? Well, you should listen to me because I've manifested it all. My soulmate, twins, dream job, dream houses, abundance. And I know that this is the right way. So you gotta write it to invite it. Pick up our bestseller manifestation box on pausepenny.com. Pause Penny 2 months before, 1 month, November 2022, 1 month before I had the twins.
Oh my God.
Having had to, I don't know what I was thinking.
I know, but I think sometimes you're in your most creative zone, like in that birthing piece. Do you know, it's
but you're up half the night anyway,
yeah,
so you might as well be on your
100%. And like, it's the one time in your life, I'd always say that now, like, I'd love a mat leave with no baby, like, you know, and then like, right now, you know, because it gives you a great pause. Do you know, it gives you a great pause. And absolutely, it's not a walk in the park. Like, I had refluxy babies. It's very difficult, like really, really difficult time. But it's a different time in your life.
You get to step out of the weeds, you know, you get to step out of the day to day, and you actually, as a founder and as an owner, where you should be up on the balcony looking from a bird's eye perspective. You can see things so much clearer when you sort of take yourself out of the day to day runnings. And I suppose that's really difficult when you're in those startup phases. You know, for a few years, you are wearing all the hats and you're doing all the jobs, and it is hard to step out. So I suppose, like, we had 2 children each within the first 2 years.
4 children within the first
4 children
2 years
within
of
the
business.
first 2.5 years of the business. I had 2 back to back, literally. Anna was 4 months, and I found out I was pregnant again.
Oh,
with Charlie.
4 months?
4 months.
Holy shit.
That was great fun. Can we tell the story about the car?
Oh, the magpies, yeah.
Can we?
I think Yvonne will appreciate the magpie story.
So I was trying to get pregnant with my eldest daughter, who's now 10, coming 11, and I was driving down to my friend's house, and literally 4 magpies flew past me in the car, and I was trying, nothing was happening. And I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant with a girl. So anyway, I had been obsessed with the magpie piece with around pregnancy since. So we were picked Charlene up. So Anna was only small. Alana was in the car because Alana was only a few weeks old, and I was breastfeeding. And my mum came. It was a full-on family roadshow to Gokwan and Danielle Mahan. We were working at it, and we were driving down to Sligo, and Charlene got into the car. And anyway, the magpies flew past, and I was like, "Oh my God!" So. What? 1 for...
4 for a boy.
4 for a boy. Sorry,
So
3 for a girl, 4 for a boy.
3 for a girl, 4 for a boy.
Anyway, the magpies flew past, and I just went, oh my God, somebody in this car is pregnant, and they're pregnant with a boy. And I was like, my mum turned around and was like, well, it's not me. And I said, it's not me. And Charlie went, it's not me.
And then I had to tell her because I can't keep secrets.
Well, literally, it took you about 2 hours. We were down at Cockwan. We were down at the thing.
You asked me, like, this is how intuitive she is. She catches me out whether she realizes she's doing it or not. She sat with me, my baby only 4 months old, and she was like, so do you think, will you have any more? And then I was like, I'm pregnant. So yeah, it was a big shock, but a lovely shock at the same time, because obviously we had the year, you know, trying for Anna, and you know, like, look, I was in that era, so I was like, look, let's just roll with it. It's fine, you know. Yeah. But shop closed once he came. Then I'm like, you two are heroes going on for the 3rd and the 4th.
Well, I went for was done after 2. I was like, I'm good. You
Yeah.
know, I had my own struggles. And so I was like, I'm done. And my husband was like, well, we go for a third. And he's just so good with kids and around the house. And I said, okay, but you've got to do the sleep training.
Oh, wow.
Because
Fair
that
play
was
to you.
really important. And if he had been shit around the house, like, you know,
Yeah.
because he's a tax lawyer, so he's got a really busy job and all of that, and he plays football, you know, and so if he hadn't been good around the house and all that, I would have been like, no,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fine. And twins,
Wow.
Amazing.
Unreal.
2 boys.
But you're right in terms of the support piece, because absolutely for both of us, you know, starting this brand and this business, you know, in the early days, absolutely, it was almost like a sideline alongside of our full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So it was fine. There was no huge amount of risk, you know, like we started the business with €1,000, you know, it wasn't like we put our houses on the line, you know, or anything like that in the beginning, you know, and then it just started to develop. And I suppose we both then went into, you know, the family building, and, you know, we were in that era. But we were also, in the meantime, Niamh was doing Going for Growth, and I also did Empower Her. So they're both female entrepreneurship programs, and very much so it kept exceptional programs, you know, for any sort of growth, you know, for any female founders. And we both were told by numerous people, you women are only given 20% of your week to this business, and look what you have done, you know, just with that. So that was constantly ringing in both of our heads. But it was hard to be able to take a step away from what you know, and with small children and families, you know, and everything. But I suppose the one thing that we did have was each other as well. When one of us was at 20%, the other one was at full percent, you know. And even this week, you know, like I could even find myself, like the tiredness was setting in me this week, and I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm just feeling a little bit. And she was like, it's okay, I've got you, you know what I mean? And we were able
Give me
to
the baton. Yeah, but that was me a couple of weeks ago, you know.
Yeah. So
I love that, because I actually feel the same. Like, I'm 20% in Pause Penny in the podcast, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then, you know, and it's 2 years old this year, and I think to myself, geez, it's harder than I thought in terms of marketing, sales, and all. And then I'm like, but look, there's so much more you've achieved with just a 20%. So you just, but it would be amazing to have somebody to bounce off of.
Yes.
And that's what I do feel like I'm missing, because my husband last night, I was like,
they'll crack up, girl.
Oh yeah. Like he's so supportive of me, but we're so busy. Like we're like 2 ships passing in the night half the time, you know? So I saw last night, the television came on, the news, the snow, and I was like, I have 2 podcast guests tomorrow. And he was like, don't start talking about your podcast and Pause Penny, because he's not in it.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody there that kind of
That for me is about finding your tribe. Like, I think we both have each other, which is amazing and incredible, and we do see that when you've been exposed to so many other female founders as well. But I think with Going for Growth, like Sharon, Keegan is fantastic. Like, we have really got, like Siobhan, like we've got loads of other female founders that we bounce off as well. And like, it really is about finding your tribe, because there'll not be a problem that you're facing or things that you're thinking about that somebody else hasn't thought about. And it really is about voicing it. Find people that you trust, leaning into it, and really bouncing off them and staying connected. You know, my first Going for Growth group, there might be 1 or 2 of the girls that I kind of keep in contact with, but they're invaluable, you know. And I pick up the phone to them and go, you know something, this is going on, what do you think? Or we're looking for this new agency, or we're looking for this, what, you know. And it really helps you step out of it, because that's the same for so many people. That's part of the reason a lot of people have an idea, they have a spark, and they never bring it to life, because they're surrounded by people and they're talking to people who've never done it. And with all the best will in the world, they might be your best friend, you know, your best supporter in so many other areas in your life, but their fear might just hold them in a different place, you know, or they just don't have that intuitive spark inside them, that nudge, that's something magical that they want to bring to life. And you can't always explain it. Like, it's no more than the brush cleaner. It was literally like, okay, we have to make this brush cleaner, and then it was, okay, let's just make the next thing. And you don't know why it's in you. If you try to rationalize it to somebody no more than you with your businesses, and they're kind of saying to you, oh, but you're a lawyer, but you're also doing this and doing this and doing what, you know, well, what are you doing? So it's really hard to rationalize it, but you just know that there's something in you that needs to be brought to life. And that's a really precious thing. So I'd always say to people when they're talking about it, going, oh, my sister or my brother or my husband or my whatever, I'm not getting that support. I'm like, do not let your precious dreams and your precious sparkle go out into the world for anyone to stamp on. If they have never done it themselves, block it off. Find people that have done it before, you know, or people who are in that same space, bounce it off them. And then if they're like, you're a lunatic, sometimes you might be like, oh, hey, that's grand. You're not my tribe. I'm going to move on.
until I find someone
I'm going to find my other lunatics. Yeah, absolutely. But somebody has to be the first person.
Yeah.
You know, like we wouldn't be sitting on this couch. We wouldn't be wearing these clothes. We wouldn't be sitting in this building if there wasn't an ambitious entrepreneurial person that got up one day and said, do you know something, today I'm going to make fabulous chairs, today I'm going to make a fabulous building, I'm going to make an incredible podcast studio. And somebody has to be that person.
Yeah. And also I think it was a really good point that Charlene made. She was saying that like we didn't give up our jobs, you didn't give up your jobs initially, that you were like slowly building. And I think that a lot of people will say, like they might even say to me, oh, you're a manifestor, why don't you just give up the law and just go straight in? It's like these things take time.
Yeah, of course.
And I also sometimes, the God honest truth, hand up, I'm not sure. Sometimes I wonder, am I built to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
I'm like, this shit is hard.
It is hard.
The
Yeah,
highs
it's
are
hard.
high and the
Yeah,
lows are low.
Yeah. But I think as well, it can stifle if you put too much financial too much financial stability or too much financial pressure on your creativity too early. It can really stifle it, because then you are trying to grow something from a place of lack.
Yeah.
Do you know? And like there's something really important in that it needs to be, you need to keep the passion alive, because to be able to bring it to fruition and bring a project to its rightful like growth and development, it needs to have that passion, and that's very difficult to sustain if you're bringing in that piece of lack into it.
I agree, because that's why another reason why I haven't given up my job as a lawyer. First of all, I actually like being a lawyer, but secondly, I actually think that the mindset of, oh my God, I don't have any money. Oh my God, I'm going to have to make sales. I'm going to have to push this, which means I'm going to have to push myself harder to, you know, you're always coming up with creative ideas to make sales. So
but it's inauthentic. Like that can feel, and people feel that. Well, I know that from us, like that feels different, you know, than, so I think at the beginning that was really important to us, you know, that it was coming from an authentic place and that we were doing it because we loved it, and we've never created a product because we've been told, oh, you have to have an X. Do you know, we've always done it because it's been the right thing for our customer and it's felt like the right thing. It's never been about, do you know, we've always been really, really passionate about that.
But I don't think you can be an entrepreneur and not have passion for your business or your product, because there's too many lows. There's too many hardships in, you know, there's too many, especially in the beginning, the cost, the rejection, the marketing, the sales, the trying to put yourself out there, the constant go. You have to be passionate about it. That's why, like, even in the pause penny kind of manifestation steps, your second step is why.
Yeah.
Why do you want it?
Yeah.
And if you're not passionate about it, good luck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But where did the name come from? I
It's
was like, their
number
kids. One of their
question that
kids
we
are
get
definitely, one's Ella and one's Joe.
No.
That's what I was.
No. Jingle Bell Jones.
The Joe is an abbreviation for my married name, which is Jones. And then the Ella Niamh Skin Clinic is called Bella Beauty. So the Ella is just abbreviated off of that.
Well, like there's two of us. We wanted to represent both of us within the brand.
Yeah.
We wanted it to feel like it was half and half and equal, which it is, and something that we were doing together. And then that's a little piece of both of us. So we're bringing a bit of our own journeys, you know, into the brand, and we just felt like it really fit really well.
I
And
love the name.
The brand, it is. It's gorgeous. Like it just rolled off the tongue. We sat down and we wrote down words that meant things to us, in various, because our names aren't very easy to put together. Charlene and Niamh.
Yeah.
But it definitely it came from a place of love. You know, the name that we were like, you know, it's family business. You know, and just
so
love.
proud of it.
And we wanted it to stand on its own. We always had a vision, even in our naive early days. We did always have a vision that, like, we wanted it to stand on its own 2 feet one day, you know, without the Charlene and Niamh's name kind of attached to it too. So, it is. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
When was the moment that you were like, oh my God, we have done this. This is epic.
There's been many. There's
Yeah,
been
we're
a
very
lot of
grateful.
moments, very, very grateful. You know, genuinely, like I can say that this journey, whilst absolutely, to go back to you saying highs and lows, you know, we've definitely had more highs than lows.
Yeah. Very lucky.
Yeah, very, very lucky. But I think, yeah, there's been so many moments. I think definitely this last 12 months, I suppose, from, you know, an outside perspective, people are like, oh my God, you're cleaning up with the awards and this, that, and the other.
And I know people are like, congratulations. The shopping, I was actually roaring laughing. I was going to message yesterday because I went into Super Value to go shopping and I was stopped every 2 minutes.
Oh, I know.
And I was going, no, seriously now, come on. I really have to get to the school gate. Like, I'm going.
Yeah.
I felt so rude. But, like, no, it's fabulous. We're very lucky.
Yeah, the awards, I think this year, like we've been 7 years, obviously building the brand. And I suppose, absolutely, the first 3 years of the brand, you know, was very much, you know, look, we're in this startup phase, you know, we were still working, you know, full time. And then it wasn't until like year 3, you know, that we really foot to the pedal and we were like,
Even
okay.
2021, I'd say. Like, you know, I really feel like, because obviously the pandemic piece in 2020, I had Finn at 34 weeks. So we had already we had a team at that stage and the team were going really well, but like we weren't full hog in it. Like I think really when we came back then at that stage.
Yeah, 2021 I think was the real acceleration.
Absolutely.
So the last 3 years. So, but still in reality, you know, like we're 7 years and like we're 7 years, like very, very grateful to be at this stage. But, you know, this last 12 months, like last November, we won Irish Brand of the Year with Image Media, which was just like, oh my God, like just huge. And that was actually the first award as a brand that we had won like in the 7 years. But people, I think, automatically assumed because we've been nominated and we've been recognized, and we're so grateful when we get recognized that we shout from the rooftops about it because we're like, we are so grateful to be in the room. Yes, absolutely. So I think people just think we've won because we're like, we're nominated, this is amazing.
And we had won stuff in the UK at that stage.
Well, it was product based rather than brand based, you know.
So there's two separate, there's a lot of separate categories as well.
Yeah.
So like you've got the business women category, you've got the brand category pieces,
and then you've got
product.
Yeah.
So our products had already started winning a lot of awards in the UK and we were starting to make a noise over there. So I think that was really where
it was.
Yeah.
And then this year, so the last 2 years, we've been trying to focus really hard on the UK market. And we won the CEW Best New Brand Prestige in the UK, which as an Irish brand, a non-British brand, that is the highest award that you could win with the CEW. And like the CEW in the beauty space is the equivalent of like the Oscars in the film industry. Like it's the creme de la creme. So like when we first found out we were finalists, we were like, oh my God, this is just amazing. And we were up against 4 other brands. And like on the night, I actually wasn't there. Taylor Swift was playing in Dublin and I couldn't get tickets because the flights were all like sold out. I couldn't get flights over.
I think you were on FaceTime or something.
I was. I know the one award I didn't attend. But anyway, Niamh was there flying the flag for us. But winning that, I think, was just such... Like, you're just looking at the landscape and you're going, like, best new brand in the UK. You know, like, Ireland is Manchester, you know, and you're just looking at that spatial kind of awareness and it's like, oh my God.
And, like, you're in the room with, you know, the teams from Hard, Space NK, and the teams from LMS. Yeah. Like, all of the, you know,
the global players.
Like, literally, Estée Lauder, everybody. Like, just everyone. Everyone in the cosmetics world is in that room.
Yeah.
And... it was just phenomenal.
It was huge, but there's been lots of other moments as well, you know, that you're just going, oh my God. Like I feel like this year, you know, we've hired 2 senior roles, you know, in the business as well on a director's level, which has allowed myself and Niamh to actually nearly go back a little bit to kind of like the early days too, you know, and kind of start looking at, you know, our strengths and like what are our strengths. We're out there and we are hustling and we are networking and but like the last few years we haven't been able to do that because we've had to be in the day-to-day. So I think this year has been a huge growth period for both of us as well, you know, to really be like, what is the North Star, you know, like, and we're now getting the chance, I suppose, to really start focusing on that. And like the number 2 question, apart from where does the name Ella and Joe come from, is where are you going next, you know? And it's global. We want to bring Ella and Joe.
You're going global.
Yeah.
Manifesting. You 2 are manifestors, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Like we already ship to over 50 countries worldwide.
What? That is amazing.
The US being our third biggest
You know
market.
what I love? Like I just love female founders, it has to be like this, these are my kind of criteria.
Well, we're here.
You're
So
like,
we must have made the criteria. We won't go now.
Listen, you guys made the criteria on episode 1. I interviewed Kim O'Sullivan from Brow Aid, and she was like,
Kim.
I said, Kim, can you give me some names of who I should have on? She was like, Ella and Joe Yvonne. They're big
Kim is the
manifestors.
biggest supporter. She's incredible.
She's incredible, and I think that's what's really important in business for women in Ireland. We're a small country. Everybody knows everyone.
Everyone knows everyone.
And we pride ourselves on that. Like, we were actually just having that conversation recently when we left the VIP Power of Women Awards, which is one of our favourite events of the year, because like that, there's so many females in the room that are just hustling and supportive and championing. And we left and we were like, you know, like we have over the last few years, we're in the west of Ireland, okay? And when you're in the west of Ireland, you know, you don't get to go to all of the networking events, but we really try, you know, and we'll do our best that when we're there, we keep in touch with people. And as Niamh alluded to earlier, like finding your tribe and like really just coming together, women just coming together, supporting, loving, you know, each other with genuine authenticity, you know, and we are like that in the industry. You know, we have, like, no more than, as you said about Kim, like any of the female founders that are just doing so well, you know, we all just sit on the sidelines and we all just champion each other, and we're there as sounding boards to really help one another along. You know, there's always an offer of help and support and love, and the VIP Power of Women Awards is, you know, one of those days where everybody gets to see one another.
Amazing.
But the networking is really important to us.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. But even,
have to
even
get out
here,
there.
you have to.
You have to.
And
if any women are in there listening, in your box room, I was there once upon a time in your office, just find a networking event, get out of your office and get out of your own way and just go and talk to people. It is daunting sometimes to think, I'm going on my own, I don't know anybody. That's the best time to go, because you will force yourself to go and talk to people. And
absolutely, the events that we go to now, the two of us are good together. We'll split and divide. We go out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and talk to such as well. But if you're there with other people, sometimes they don't realize. I'm like, this is like being brought to a wedding where you don't know any friends, and I'm really sorry. So just have a nice time there, you know, go.
If you bring anybody that's not each other, you're
it.
just like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to be gone for the duration of this event.
But it's also in Ireland, it's not always about what you know. It's genuinely, it's who you know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's somebody
so many connections.
The reason why you guys are on, one of the reasons, I had reached out to you, but the other reason was I had reached out to someone. I was like, any chance you know XY? And they're like, no, but I know their PR agency. They're with this PR agency. Went to the PR agency, then bing, bang, boom.
Amazing.
Boom. I was like, I'm not giving up.
Love it.
You know, so like people will put you on the path,
absolutely.
and then you just have to be the persistent, annoying person.
Well, no,
to keep going.
Try not to try not to think of it like that either. You know, at the end of the day,
tenacious
for both, like it's actually incredible when you actually have open conversations with so many people, and we often put a lot of people on pedestals and we put a lot of people in high regard, you know. And recently we did an incredible press trip to France where we flew out loads of UK and Irish influencers and media. Like, we had the editor of Vogue magazine, Grazia magazine. It was all these hugely influential people. We had women there that like had like 1 million followers, etc., and I just sat at the breakfast table having a conversation, you know, across the table with these women. And, you know, one of the girls, like, she broke down and she cried because she was so self-conscious. Like, this girl is like, you look at her and you're like, oh my God, goddess, like just beautiful in every which way. And she cried because she felt inferior coming on the trip, you know, because she was looking at somebody else that was coming, etc., etc. So, you know, I think in terms of the networking piece, and you may feel like you're pushing, but when you actually really get right down and you start talking to people, you know, like, we're all human at the end of the day. We tend to give other people like these titles and these like 5 stars, or, you know, like they're unattainable to me, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not good enough or whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all human, and we love connection and we love conversation. And we've gone up, you know, being that person at the networking events, looking at somebody going, oh my God, like you're fangirling nearly, and just going up and having like a lovely conversation. And the next thing you know, a relationship comes out of it, you know, a connection comes out of it. And so try not to think of it as being like annoying or tenacious or anything like that. It's just like, no, you're just trying to build, your profile, you know, like you're just trying to build your network and your tribe, you know, and just go and just say hello. Like
it's totally true as well, because I think that social media has made us like put people that have a high number of followers on a pedestal. So they're like, oh, they must be amazing because they've got X amount of followers.
You know, we all have our own insecurities and we all have our own, you know, strengths and whatever else, but we're all human at the end of the day.
That's the third time this week it's come up, you know, the comparison is the thief of joy. And it absolutely is. And like we in business and in life, but definitely in business, do not, we go in our own lane, focus on our own lane. We absolutely will take little sprinkles of inspiration from maybe different countries or different brands that are doing something out of the places. But I think the more time and energy that you give to focusing on what everyone else is doing, the less time that you have to focus on your own piece of
and
work.
your authenticity goes then as well. You know, it's no
save
longer
your
you.
energy for yourself. You know what I mean? Save your energy for your own project and for driving on with that. Absolutely, because comparison is completely the thief of joy.
I agree. And when you went to this trip to France and did all of that, and you've got the influencers and all that, like, what direction do you think marketing is actually going in? I feel like it's kind of going through a community based, like all the stuff that you do as well, Charlene. You do the glimmer and gratitude on your. I have to stay away from the broadcast channels on Instagram, because I'm already like, I can't get into anything else. I'm just about doing it, but I feel like it's like building that community of you being on, and both of you. But do you think we're moving away from brands now, like from like paying the big influencer to have your product? What way do you think it's going?
I think it's authentic connection. You know, I think we're all post pandemic and everyone doing their own thing. A lot of people are still working from home. I think people are really looking for connection. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for community. And that's always something I suppose we've really prided ourselves on as a business. It's always something we're very conscious of. Like, we've an incredible community of women that engage with us all the time. Like, we have super VIP events and we just have such a gorgeous community. So like that, from a consumer based perspective to a female founder perspective, you know, I really think that that authentic piece and that community piece, it's massive.
You just have to remember that, absolutely. It's about balance at the end of the day, you know, and just finding the balance between, you know, the big influencers and the micro influencers, and, you know, just actually going back to your values and thinking to yourself, yes, you're looking at the numbers and you're looking at all the big fancy, you know, stats and insights, but realistically, is that person the right fit for your brand? You know, and are they going to deliver what message you actually want to deliver in an authentic way?
And like, we're so grateful to be in a position where we are able to support people. I think like when we started the brand off originally, it was all PR boxes, and that's what we were sending out to try and get the name out there and to, you know, engage with people and like see who were our audience and who liked us and, you know, who our skincare worked with. And, you know, we were very exploratory and we had so much support. So we sat down and we were like, look, as soon as we're able to afford to help these women, like as in to pay these women and to be able to monetize that for them, because it's their job, you know, and like it's a really valid job. Like, content creation is a huge job now, and it's an incredible piece to be able to support other women and be able to give that gratitude back from a monetary point of view to them, because as I said, there was so much support that we had when we started that was organic, and that was it was just, we were so well supported.
And do you find it all on your social media and stuff, because this has just come up for me lately, do you find it all positive, or do you get any sort of negative trolls on your page?
No, like it's all positive.
That's amazing. I'm getting trolled. I'm getting trolled by a lot of men, actually.
Interesting. Delete. Good luck.
Block. No, I just said to the guy last day, I was like, keep writing on my page. You're like you're getting me more views. Like, go ahead. I try and keep it positive, but like I'm obviously in the sphere as well of manifestation mindset, and some people are just like, oh, go piss off. Like, that's just a load of nonsense. So I can see.
If I wouldn't sit down with them for a cup of coffee or have a drink with them, I don't care. Honestly. Like, if you're not on my Christmas card list, or I'm not looking to go for a coffee with you between now and December, I genuinely don't care.
We don't get it though. Like, I've had
as
a personal profile, like I've had my fair share of really, really tough times, you know, like especially in the last 2 to 3 years, you know, like I have had a personal profile, you know, like on Instagram and social media for a very long time. Very, very fortunate. And then unfortunately, you know, like a few years ago, there absolutely was a period where I suppose it was probably mid post pandemic, you know, where like the online space did go quite negative for a while, and there was just this weird vibe and this weird feeling. Everybody was feeling it. So like I won't deny the fact that absolutely there was a moment in time where I genuinely questioned everything, you know, questioned myself, questioned my worth, you know, because absolutely there was these people online, you know, that decided that they knew who I was and decided to, and it was more than that. It was actually quite creepy, you know. It was people almost like tracking my movements, you know, and knowing and you know, outlining like where my kids were going to crash and who was picking them up and stuff like that. So it was people that were in my locality, you know, that were watching and, you know, publicly putting this stuff up online, and I really struggled with that.
Oh, that's
I think
scary.
that's been very
scary
hard
though.
Yeah, it's been very
was.
hard though. You've grown up online.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
have.
really have.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you've gone from like who knows themselves as a young
as a-
20-year-old,
yeah,
nobody.
yeah.
And like, you know, you've gone from that space to, you know, getting married, having your house, having your children, and growing into a woman.
Yeah.
And like that's a lot.
And we
Yeah.
change so much as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I change every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as in
yeah.
the person that I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
30s is like I'm
The
41.
person we
it's
were yesterday, we're not the same
Yeah,
person. You know
no.
what I mean? And like I won't be the same person walking out of here either, you know,
Yeah.
because I'll have felt inspired by something both of you have said, and I'll have a different context on it. So look, I'm not going to sit here and say that everything is sunshine and roses. That absolutely hasn't been for me personally. But like I actually, to some degree, I thank those women because they actually helped me to find, and I feel really emotional, like they helped me to find myself. Because I didn't know who I was, and I allowed them to tell me who I was. But I found myself thanks to them trying to pigeonhole me or trying to say who I was. And I'm like, actually, no, I know who I am now, you know, and thank you, you know, as hard as it was during those periods, I'm now like, I actually couldn't give a shit now. I'm like, good luck to you. Do you know what I mean? And I feel so proud of myself, you know, for getting through that piece. And a lot of people don't know about it because I don't talk about it, you know. I didn't come online and discuss it or give it any airtime at all. So yeah, so like, look, it hasn't been all sunshine and roses, but genuinely, I'm like, you know, there's growth and there's learning and everything. You have to decide whether or not to fall behind with those people, or to go and find the joy and to find the light. And I thankfully, do you know what I mean? I went this way, and I can genuinely say hand on heart now that I thank those people now because they helped me to find who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. So, because I'm not big on TikTok or anything, but I do watch it. But I can see these threads of like, you know, so for example, when I'm always posting about manifestation, and like when I flew to California, and on the way over I was flying with Aer Lingus, and I saw this shamrock, and I was like, oh, you know, like if you're Irish, you're lucky. We're the luck of the Irish, right?
yeah.
So I put up this big post of like, I'm Irish, I'm lucky, I'm Irish, I'm lucky, right? Just this natural kind of affirmation. And on TikTok, I got killed.
Oh my God!
It's actually vicious over there.
I got killed. They were like,
Like, who wants to
no
step
more-
into that room? Boo,
Yeah,
boo.
like you're not like
Actually
my
mental.
accent, you're not Irish, you're one, this, that, and the other. And I just thought to myself, hold on a second, why am I replying to 7654321?
Yeah.
User 1 2 3 4 5.
But I am quite confident in myself. I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks of me. Grand, fine. But what about the people that are our children that are going to grow up in this stage, or people that are in their 20s who are or early 30s genuinely figuring out who you are, what your worth is, like your confidence, like having gone through your own piece. What would you say to someone that's kind of struggling a bit to find themselves? Where do they start?
Where do they start? For me, I started with, I suppose, going quite deep into like the inner child piece, you know, and trying to find, you know, like that 7-8-year-old version of me and like who was she, because then after that piece, when you start going into the preteens, I suppose, you know, like my, you know, like moving around and moving schools and things like that, you know, like there was always that element of trying to fit in, etc. But yeah, where do you start? Like
life coaches, we've both used life coaches quite a lot. Journaling, you know,
there's so many parts to it.
And like even now versus what that was a couple of years ago, like there are so, like the wellness space is incredible. There are so many conversations about, you know, how people can explore different areas, and I do think that there's so many things you can do.
I love Georgie Crawford's book Glow. Was a huge because there's a worksheet piece in it as well. It's not just reading a book and then putting it to the side and going, oh, that was nice, you know. She actually asks you prompts and questions, so it really does allow you to kind of deep dive. I found her book really, really beneficial. And then like that, I've read loads of books, listened to loads of audios, done the life coaching piece. It's not one fits all, you know what I mean? There's so many different layers to it, you know, and this has been a journey, you know, and it's, you know, there's so many parts to it, but genuinely just I think the recognizing that you aren't being authentic to yourself. Like I would have honestly sat probably 2.5-3 years ago and said, like, I know who I am and I don't give a shit what people think. It's amazing when all of a sudden they really start coming at you, you know, and you feel threatened and you feel, you know, oh my God, you know, that all of a sudden then you kind of go, oh, maybe, you know, I need to dig a little bit deeper, you know.
Yeah, and figure out why is this consuming my mind.
Me?
I think if it's something for anybody out there that's getting any sort of negative posts or this, that, and the other, if it's consuming your mind and you're thinking about it hours later, then you need to reflect on it and be like, why am I giving so much of my precious time? Because we know this now as moms, as businesswomen, our time is more valuable.
Absolutely.
And it's not just online. How many of us can say that we have the mother-in-law or the neighbor or the friend that's in the group that's just toxic, you know? And we've all been in those scenarios, and it's really difficult, you know.
That's an interesting pair of shoes.
Yeah. But I suppose
I got it recently on my Instagram from someone in the park. They're like, do you think you'll still keep doing this stuff? And I'm like, yes, I do. Like, bye. Like, go away. I'm happy.
Yeah. And I think that people don't know what to do with that, you know, because if it is triggering you in some way, obviously we all want to be liked. We all want to fit in. It's tribal nature. That's part of our DNA. And again, like that, it goes back to that trying to fit in piece. Absolutely. But I think, I don't know, like, I think you can just smile at them and let them go light, you know, because I just hope that, like, when you come across somebody negative like that, whether it's working with the public or whatever else it might be, and you see somebody and you're going, I will always turn around to myself, or like when it used to my staff years ago, if there was a difficult customer, a difficult client, go, they have to go home and live with themselves. There's obviously something really lacking in their life, you know, so I would always say to the girls, just let them go with love and light, you know, and you don't have to live with them, you know, so just take a deep breath.
It's not about you.
Yeah, it's not about
you.
you.
It's never about you. It's never
and I
about
actually just have made a conscious decision in my life that I am not going to spend time, my precious time, with people who, listen, my best friend she's into clothes. She's like, sending me clothes, buy this will suit you, but I'm not into clothes, right? She's not into manifestation. She's still my best friend. I'm not saying that everybody has to agree with what I do, but you don't have to be negative about it. And then I just decide I'm too old to spend my precious time with someone who's
and I think there's a lot of people coming to that realization as well, you know, again, coming up to like this kind of time of the year, or, you know, you're really evaluating, okay, oh, do I want to go to that party or do I want to go to this party? Do you know, or do I want to go and sit down have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with 1 or 2 friends, or do I want to go into a big massive group setting? And the word no and the boundaries piece, I think, is becoming really important and really, I suppose, really popular to talk about at this stage, because like that, as you said, it is your time, it's your energy, it's your focus. And if you're draining your battery going into a room and your battery's getting drained around certain people or doing certain things or in certain scenarios, like that's a part of your battery you can't get back, you know, then you're overcompensating with stuff that lifts your battery up to try and bring you back, and you don't have any battery left for the people who are really important, or for yourself, like or for yourself, you know, and for the people who matter to you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let them go. Like I said,
absolutely.
like, let's bring out Frozen song. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna
absolutely.
interject.
Yeah. Shake It Off is another one.
There's
Taylor
so
Swift.
much
I'm like,
joy in the
if there's
world.
any bit of thing, I'm like, no, let's go. Let's put it on and shake it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye. See ya. But it sounds like that your community almost lifts you up because they're so.
Well, they're amazing. And like, no more than you were asking earlier about the highs and when did you feel like, oh my God, this is it. Oh my, hilarious. Okay. So there's 2 other stories. Like, one was about samples. So when we got samples, 7 mil, because I'm working in the industry a long time. We got samples, 7 mils of our products. I walked in, I was like, oh my God, I feel like we're a real skincare brand now because we've got samples. I'm so excited. She was like, what is wrong with you? And then...
But I get that.
Oh yeah, like it's just so funny. It's like getting your bag or having your stickers or whatever it might be. There's a thing that makes you feel like, oh my God, this is it.
Mine was the
I
advent
made
calendar, I think.
Oh yeah.
When we got the advent calendar.
Well now, my sample, oh no, they probably cost the same amount as your own. And I think as well, we get so many incredible before and after pictures from customers and so many incredible reviews. And like we've had some like people walking up and saying, like telling you that we've changed their lives. Yeah. And you know, as in our products and our formulations have changed their lives because, you know, it's not the same as a pair of shoes. Skincare is very individual. And like that, some things will suit some people and other things will suit other people, and an ingredient might work for you and it might not work for somebody else, and that's just the way that it is. It's tried and tested and learned. Like you have to just play around with it a little bit to find your exact combination. But we've had people who've been on the skin cancer journey and have had massive scarring, and they send us before and after pictures, and people who are going through perimenopause and menopause and they're using our mist around the house. And I don't know if you know that movie Signs with Mel Gibson. There's the aliens coming and there's a daughter in the movie and she has glasses of water all over the house, but apart she needs the water anyway. There was a lady one day and she said to me, my husband, it's like he's walking into the Signs set because all there is mist in every room. He's like, what is this stuff? But it's hearing those stories and they genuinely are like, your mist has gotten me through like my worst days and the hardest days when I've got no confidence, and I need to take a deep breath. I'm at work and I'm going in to do a presentation and I'm already flushing and I'm hot, you know. And we've got so many stories like that, and they're the things for me as well that really
100%.
The connection.
Sure, I'm in the DMs every single day, you know, talking to dozens of women, you know, and keeping that connection alive, and that's what keeps me going every day. I think if I was to lose that community piece, you know, that'd be the end of it for me, to be honest.
And the thing is that the people that send the messages, sometimes I get an intro message from people saying like, I'm sorry I'm messaging you, and then by the end of it I'm like, I am so, did you know how much I needed your message today? Like if you love someone's product, if you love Ellen Jo, reach out, just send the message, just say, tell them how much you love it, because it genuinely, on the harder days where you're like, I'm juggling, I'm taking the kids, they've got their vaccines, they've got their dinner, they've got their lunch, I want to work out, I want to do my gratitude, I want to do this, but the laundry is
that any little pledge of kindness is ever going to be underestimated. Even just smile at somebody, say hello, ask them how their day is. You know, strangers, I think too much now in this day and age, you know, that it's like, you know, like we walk past people or we walk up to the till and we just throw down what we have and pay the money and bye, see you later, you know, instead of being like, hi, how are you? You know, I think never ever underestimate like a small little piece of kindness, like just saying, I
noticed
your
that
product,
big difference. I noticed that as a big difference moving from, say, California to Ireland, like moving from LA to Ireland. Nobody in LA will stop and say hello really as much. I mean, they're nice in the restaurants and whatever. But then when I moved to the country, well, in Listowel, everybody is hello, 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 and everybody. And then I moved to Dublin. I was like saying hello to all these people, but they didn't say it back. And I was like, nobody says
Dora the
hi,
Explorer. When I'm in Dublin, I have my little backpack and I'm like, hi, hello, hi. I'm like, I'm going to be the first one mugged on this street because they're going to like spot the tourists. Like,
but we'd stop women or like people if we see something and we're like, oh my God, you look fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, or oh wow, like, you know, and it's not inauthentic at all. It's from a real place of, you know, oh my God, we are wearing that so well, or you know,
look lovely.
Absolutely,
your hair is lovely.
Because
or I,
I think
earrings,
you can never, as you said, there's no such thing as a kind word going, you know, going wrong. Like it's just it's lovely.
Yeah, my husband actually says to me all the time, "You are the jammiest git going." I'm like, it's just because I'm nice. I genuinely, like, we were going through the airport there recently, and we accidentally put our full sun cream tubes, which were like 250 mils, like in the bags. You know,
how often are we on airplanes?
I know. And anyway, went by, and like Michal was literally like head and hands, because we were going to America, and like we're all pure pasty, like, you know, we need these specific sun creams because we know we're not going to burn and whatever else. And he was literally sweating because he was like, oh my God, like we're not going to be able to get this sun cream again. And I was like, just hang on a second. And I, like, without being like over the top, I just was like, move away, get your energy away, you know. I was like, and swear to God, like you're
manifesting in the negative.
Well, I just was like, look, I'm just going to be really nice to this guy, and I'm just going to say, look, I'm really sorry, you know, like blah blah blah. And anyway, he just was like, he was like, is this SPF for medical reasons? And he was nodding at me like this, and I was like, yes, it is.
Yes, indeed.
And the next thing he was like, I'm at the end of my shift, and I'm in a really good mood today. So he was like, go on. He was like, but just be careful on the way back. And I was literally, and he, like, there's been so many scenarios like that where he's just like, you go, you know, because he's like you. And I'm like, it's just be nice to people. Like, don't go in with the, oh, you know, blah, 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 like stressed out and whatever. I'm like, just be nice and just explain and just be honest. I was like, and if they take it off you, they take it off you. We'll get over it. You know, it's not the end of the world.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Absolutely. I love that quote. Yeah. In life and in business and everything, just try not to get too bogged down in it all. Yeah.
Favorite product to each? I heard you say yours the other day, Charlene, but I'll let you say it. Favorite Ella and Joe product
out
each.
Of the Ella and Joe range? Look, I think they're all my favourites, absolutely. But I think the one that I'm most
all of my children, they're all my
favourites.
Yeah.
But I think
listen,
the one
people
I'm
say
most...
that, and I'm like, I do have a.
Yeah.
There's one particular child that I have I don't have a favorite child, but there's just one of the little guys.
Well, there's one that I genuinely couldn't be without, and it's the Plump and Protect Day Cream, and like, that's my favourite, and it's the one I'm most proud of. I wasn't an SPF wearer before that. I just couldn't find a formula that it was either compromising on my makeup sitting right or protecting my skin, and I chose my makeup sitting right. And you know, when you're looking at that compromise between, you know, SPF and your hydrating day cream, you know, most women are going to choose the hydrating day cream because they want to feel great about themselves. So Plump and Protect, I think, has been my proudest formulation, because like that, it actually encouraged me and hundreds, thousands of other women to start wearing SPF, and it's going to benefit so many in the long run in terms of skin cancer and also in terms of their confidence, because we all know that the UV rays are the most damaging effect on the skin. So if you're not wearing SPF every day, you're basically flushing your hydrating and anti-aging serums kind of down the drain. So I think we created something that genuinely just, you know, fills that gap for people, and it's going to help them right now, and it's also going to help them in the future as well. Yeah.
And Niamh?
It's very, very, very difficult, but okay. So I adore the Nourish and Glow facial oil. I absolutely love it. So I've got rosacea, sensitive skin, and it's a retinol, vitamin A that actually helps people with sensitive skin and their barrier. Like the DMs and the messages that we have gotten about this product are unreal. So everyone loves Melted Away Cleansing Balm. The scent, it helps them, their shoulders come down from their ears, like fabulous. And the Nourish and Glow also has a gorgeous spa-like scent with it. So it's a moment for yourself. And it's a moment. And really, like, we want to create products that land really well, that create incredible results. But also, we know that our women and the customers who use our products, we're at the bottom of our to-do list. So, like, we don't want the skincare just to be another job on the to-do list. We want it to be enjoyable. We want it to have that habit stacking piece where you're like, I'm taking a deep breath for myself. Like Melted Away does that with the words, like all on the pack, like, and with the naming convention. But Nourish and Glow for me as well, it really does. I just love it. Yeah, I love it.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to chat to you after this, and so you just give me a list of what I need, because that's
We'll
what
set it up
I
to you.
think that's what I find the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I'm
So confusing.
I don't know what is the best product. I don't know how to
start.
I don't know where to start sometimes. I'm like, should I try that? And then I have very sensitive skin, so I'm like,
And it's really, like, it is really confusing. It becomes overwhelming. It's no more than kind of the time of year that we're in at the moment. There's a this and this and do this and do that. Like, it becomes so overwhelming that we back off and we just leave it there.
Yeah.
but,
both of your
skin is glowing.
Well, we
Thank God.
And
we live our brand.
Yeah.
yeah, see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm just drinking coffee all day long. And
Oh,
then-
yeah.
You look
We're-
fabulous with this
Stop
stuff.
the lights.
You're
You're
gorgeous.
absolutely
You go on.
gorgeous.
But we'll send you on some extra bits to make.
I
them
need
more
to.
gorgeous.
I need to get a good. So just the last question.
Yeah.
Daughters. I have a daughter. She's 3. She's obviously too young. But what age should we start with our skincare routine?
I think, like, look, there's a huge amount of press about that at the moment, and a lot of focus on it because of TikTok, and I suppose kids are having access to content online that makes them feel like they need to have a skin routine. My daughter is 10. She washes her face with pads. Like, we have like cleansing pads or cleansing mitt. If they get into a regular routine of cleaning their face from like 9, 10, when the pores start going, a lot of them will start getting blackheads and open pores and hairs and breakouts in and along the hairline from around even 8. Sometimes you're seeing around 7. It's when you see the hormones changing. When you start seeing the hair becoming greasy on a monthly cycle, the little bit of breakouts, the blackheads, the congestion happening, that's plenty of time to start doing something. Just get them, like brushing their teeth, getting them into cleaning their face and applying a moisturiser, and they'll be flying.
My biggest regret.
Yeah.
My biggest regret is, first of all, baking myself in the sun. Is I'd come home mahogany like this, going on my
But you
holiday
actually wouldn't
trips.
know that by your skin.
Very dry though, and wrinkles quite easily. I get Botox.
A little bit of crepe. Yeah, a little bit of crepe is like normal though, and it really is just
loss of volume.
yeah, but that's okay. That's your collagen and elastin. So we just look at bringing in a vitamin A for that.
That's
Yeah, to
what
plump
I
it up a
struggle
little
with the
bit.
most. I
Yeah.
had myself on. After I talked to Susie O'Neill from AU,
she's lovely, yeah.
she's, fabulous. I was like to her, I can't go on my stories without a filter, and she's like, stop it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got nice skin, but just stop. People need to look. So I stopped using the filter.
Yeah.
Actually made me feel better
You're
about
fabulous.
myself. But now I'm starting to see the
Girl,
the
no, you stop. You need to get on the gua sha treatment. We were doing gua sha this
I
week.
saw that.
Yeah.
But see,
And your nourishing glow oil, and bring it out. And that's actually a very good point, because it came. I was thinking about it earlier and I didn't say it. Was the neck area?
Yeah.
You can really see, people are really seeing a difference because they've been taking care of their skin here up for the last while, but the neck area is really showing. So bringing your skincare all the way down to your neck as well. Yeah. But the nourishing glow oil, definitely for you.
I'm going to be fabulous
Yeah,
in
you
2025. I'm going to be a
You
vibe.
are
Be a
fabulous
vibe
right
in
now.
2025.
You are fabulous already.
Guys,
Stop that.
I just want to say how grateful I am for your time. Like we talked about, time is so precious. You're coming up on the train, trekking through the snow,
Full
into
on
the studio.
Elsa snowballing this morning.
Yeah. So I am so grateful. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
You're going
Pleasure.
global.
Yeah, all
You're
good.
going global, girls.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.